You're about to pull into whichever pump has the shortest line. The attendant knows something you don't. He knows which tanks in his lot are actually approved to protect your engine, and which ones are just gas with a logo. He's not telling. And most YouTube rankings you've already seen, they're wrong now, because in 2026, two brands that every older video warned you off quietly flipped status. Same station, same price per gallon. Completely different answer than 18 months ago. Here's why it matters. AAA ran the test. Top tier. Fuels produced 19 times fewer intake valve deposits than the non-top tier stuff at the pump right next to them. 14 brands ranked. Number 7 is a name you trust, a pump you used this month. In 2026, it stopped deserving your tank. Number 7, Sam's Club. Same parking lot as the competition, same bulk buying crowd, but check the current top tier brand list, and Sam's Club isn't on it. Here's what makes this one sting. Costco, its exact warehouse club rival, is on it. That doesn't mean Sam's Club fuel is contaminated or poorly made. Every legal gallon still meets the federal detergent floor. It means the brand sitting right next to your regular pump doesn't currently offer the higher, verified standard, and a top tire-approved alternative might be closer than you think. Sam's Club isn't the only budget-focused name outside the standard. The next one built its entire brand around the lowest number on the sign, which makes what's missing behind that number even easier to overlook. Number 6, Murphy USA. Murphy built its identity around the lowest number on the sign. The Walmart parking lot gas station everyone's filled up at once. But a low price and top-tier status are two separate facts, and Murphy USA doesn't currently appear on the top-tier approved list either. That's genuinely all the evidence tells us. We can't say Murphy's fuel sits at the bare federal minimum. That formulation isn't published anywhere. What we can say is it isn't carrying the verified higher standard this list is built around. If a top tire approved station is only a few cents more, that gap becomes an easy tiebreaker over the life of a vehicle. Leave the parking lots behind for a second. The next brand proves this isn't just a low price problem. It shows up at the biggest travel stop chains too. Number 5, Pilot Flying J. Pilot Flying J is one of the biggest travel stop names in the country, but its gasoline brand isn't currently on the top tier approved list either. This isn't a truck stop conspiracy, and here's where we have to stay disciplined about the evidence. The fact that Pilot Flying J isn't currently listed as top tier approved tells us the gasoline isn't participating in that voluntary standard. It doesn't tell us why the company hasn't pursued it. That's a story the evidence can't support, so we won't guess. What we can say is simpler. If an approved station is sitting a mile down the same exit mid-road trip, that's the one worth the extra turn. Same interstate, same billboard presence, same gap. The next name proves this pattern isn't limited to one travel stop chain. Number 4, Love's. It isn't on the current top tier list either, and this is one of the biggest travel stop names on the interstate system. The kind of place with 50 pumps running at once, a parking lot full of semis, and a line at the register that never really disappears. Here's the distinction worth remembering for the rest of this video. Traffic and how busy a station looks tell you nothing about its detergent package. Those are two completely different measurements. One tracks how many people pull in, the other tracks what's actually mixed into the fuel before it hits your tank. A station can sell an enormous volume of gas every single day and still not be top tier approved. Volume was never part of the qualification. Busy isn't approved, full stop, and that mix-up is exactly what keeps drivers from noticing gaps like this one. A packed parking lot feels like a vote of confidence, but it isn't a detergent certificate. That same mix-up gets even easier to fall for once local loyalty enters the picture, which brings us to a name a lot of drivers would never think to question. Number 3, Casey's. This is the one that catches people off guard. Casey's has that local, small-town loyalty built up over decades. The gas station next to the pizza counter, the place people default to without ever thinking twice about it. That kind of trust makes people assume the brand is doing everything right, quietly, in the background. It isn't currently on the top tier list, and notice what isn't driving this ranking. No complaint threads, no "my mileage dropped" story from some forum post, no single driver's anecdote treated as proof of anything. Just one checkable fact. Is the brand on the current top tier list or not? For Casey's right now, the answer is no, and that's the entire basis for its spot here. Nothing more dramatic than that. That same checkable fact test is about to get harder to accept because the next name on this list has built an entire cult following around everything except the gasoline itself. Number 2, Sheetz. Sheetz built that cult following on food and convenience made-to-order menus, a loyal regional fan base that will drive out of their way for a specific sandwich. The whole experience engineered around the stop, not the pump. People plan road trips around Sheetz locations. None of that, though, touches the actual question this list is asking. Sheetz isn't currently listed as a top tire-approved brand either, and the food quality has no bearing on that answer either way. That's 2 spots from the bottom, and by now the theme should be obvious. Brand popularity and top tire status are 2 completely unrelated metrics. Conflating them, assuming the brand everyone loves must also be doing the technical stuff right, is the easiest mistake a driver can make at the pump. Which brings us to the name at the very bottom of this half, the one most drivers assume is far too big to be missing anything. Number 1, Racetrack. And here's number 1 among our 7 non-top tier picks, Racetrack. Racetrack isn't currently on the top tire approved list, which puts it in our editorial ordering among the brands drivers most often ask about. Not a lab ranking of the worst fuel in the country. It does not mean Racetrack sells the worst gasoline in the country, and it doesn't mean the fuel is unsafe. Federal detergent requirements apply to every gallon, no exceptions. It means one thing: if verified higher detergency is what you're shopping for, Racetrack isn't where you'll find it. And for the record, nobody paid to be on this list. No brand deals, no sponsorships. Every placement comes from one checkable source: the official top-tier brand list, not internet rumors or a mechanic's favorite story. One more thing before we flip to the winners. Worst on this list has never meant dangerous. The EPA sets a legal detergent floor for every gallon sold in America. Top tier is a voluntary ceiling above that floor. This isn't a lab teardown of every gallon in the country, and it isn't a claim that one fill-up will hurt your engine. When 2 stations sit at similar prices, the one carrying the higher standard is the smarter tiebreaker. Now, the 7 brands doing the most with that standard, building up to our pick for the strongest publicly documented fuel technology on this list. Number 7, QuikTrip. QuikTrip earns the flip side of this list for the simplest possible reason. It's licensed, verified, and currently on the top-tier brand list. Full stop. But here's the part most drivers miss entirely. Top Tire was never a premium-only club. Approval applies across all octane grades sold by a licensed brand, including the regular 87 at the cheapest pump on the island. If your manual calls for regular, you don't need premium just to get the cleaner additive package. QuikTrip hands you that option without turning fuel quality into a luxury purchase. The next brand takes that same idea and puts a name and a mascot behind it, literally. Number 6, Sinclair. Sinclair earns its spot with something specific behind that green dinosaur logo. DinoCare, the company's branded top-tier additive package, engineered to clean critical engine components and slow deposit buildup. Sinclair is currently listed on the top-tier list, and DinoCare is the documented technology behind that listing, not just a mascot. Forget the old 230,000-mile engine looked spotless stories. Those are anecdotes, not evidence. What's verifiable is simpler and more useful. Sinclair participates in the higher standard, and DinoCare is publicly documented, not just implied by the friendly logo. Top Tier itself says controlling deposits can also help minimize emissions and protect fuel economy over time, not just clean intake valves. Speaking of information that's aged badly, the next 2 brands are the clearest proof on this entire list that an old ranking video can be flat wrong today. Number 5, BP and Amoco. Here's exactly where an old ranking video falls apart. BP and Amoco spent a stretch of time missing from the top tier list, which is why you'll still find videos telling you to avoid both brands. That information is no longer current. As of 2026, both are officially top tier approved gasoline brands, and it goes further. In May 2026, Top Tire confirmed that BP and Amoco's long-standing Invigorate additive passed testing for the new Top Tier Plus standard, the same upgrade built for modern direct injection engines. So if you've been steering around a BP or Amoco pump because of something you watched a year or 2 ago, that information has moved. Top Tier status changes. Checking the current list beats memorizing an outdated ranking every time. And that's the pair we promised at the start: BP and Amoco. Their current top-tier plus status is exactly why an older ranking video needs to be checked against today's list. Next up, two more brands with a different kind of story behind them, matching technology under two different names. Number 4. Exxon and Mobil. Exxon and Mobil land at number 4 because both currently sit on the top tier list, built around their Synergy additive program, with Synergy Supreme Plus as the premium tier. Skip the dramatic claim that your engine's computer somehow senses premium fuel and unlocks hidden power. Octane and detergent quality are separate conversations. ExxonMobil has published its own testing around cleanliness, wear protection, and performance for Synergy Supreme Plus. What matters here is simpler and better documented, a verified detergent standard behind every grade, not a mystery product hiding behind a familiar sign. The next brand takes documentation even further, with a number stamped right on the product that most shoppers walk straight past without reading. Number 3. Costco and Kirkland Signature. Costco isn't just on the list, it's near the top of what's publicly documented. Costco states that Kirkland Signature gasoline contains 5 times the EPA's required detergent level, in both regular unleaded and premium. Not just premium. Both grades, same multiplier. That's what makes Costco genuinely strong on value. You're not paying extra for the higher detergent package, and you're not sacrificing it by sticking with regular. Costco is also one of the national brands that has already announced top-tier plus status as the standard rolls out for GDI engines. One thing we won't repeat, the old, unverifiable claim about tanks turning over every 24 to 48 hours. The documented detergent numbers are strong enough without borrowing an urban legend. 2 spots left, both with a 2026 update that changes what an older ranking video would have told you. Number 2, Chevron and Texaco. Chevron and Texaco take the runner-up spot for a genuinely current reason. In May 2026, Chevron announced next-generation Techron, a full reformulation of its long-running additive, evaluated through laboratory testing, engine studies, and comparisons against competing fuels. Chevron states that gasoline containing next-generation Techron is formulated to clean up to 100% of harmful deposits left by lower-quality fuel, based on its own GDI injector testing using an industry-standard method. A real, sourced claim, not a marketing throwaway line. That comes with an asterisk. It's Chevron's own testing, not an independent lab's. Still, the reformulation is real, and Chevron says it's already rolled out across every grade at every U.S. Chevron and Texaco station. Which brings us to the last name on this list, our closing pick, and the one with some of the strongest publicly documented fuel testing in this entire countdown. Number 1, Shell V-Power Nitro Plus. Not because of the name on the sign, but because of how much documented technology Shell has stacked behind this fuel, putting some of the strongest publicly documented fuel technology behind a gallon of gas on this list. Shell states, V-Power Nitro Plus contains 6 times the cleaning agents required by federal standards, engineered to remove performance-robbing deposits while protecting against corrosion and wear. Every grade of Shell gasoline is top-tier approved, but Nitro Plus sits above the rest of the lineup. Backed by testing Shell says spans laboratory procedures, bench engines, and real road vehicles. More than 500,000 equivalent test miles by the company's own account, direct injection engines included. That's Shell's own reported testing, not an independent lab's. Worth keeping in mind the same way we flagged Chevron's numbers. Don't confuse the most documented fuel program with the fuel every car needs. Engines are built around a specific minimum octane requirement, and detergent level doesn't change what yours calls for. If your manual says 87, the win is the right octane paired with the strongest documented detergent standard, not the most expensive pump on the island.